The reason, I guess, what got me started in this, amidst all the pandemic chaos that's been going on right now, I realized that you have to change and adapt in order to continue operating for business. With real estate, we are listed as an essential worker, essential workforce here in the state of Wisconsin. So, in order to continue the business going, so people can have housing to buy, sell, and invest in real estate, I had to adapt. One, we want to still practice safer at home and stay at home processes. So here's me working from my home office. But part of that is people are still going to want to see properties. So to minimize the number of folks going into homes, I had to find some way to adapt. And one way that I've found has been learning from some of the best. And elsewhere in the US, people have been doing virtual tours. So virtual tours can mean a whole lot of different things to a whole lot of different people. For some, it's going to be doing just taking their cell phone and recording a video and sharing that, doing Skype, Zoom, Facebook Live, anything like that to be able to show the homes. What I've found with that, though, is it can be somewhat difficult to look at that after the fact, because a lot of times you want to say, hey, you know what? What was in that one room? How did that look? How did it lay out? So the way that I adapted is I purchased this little guy. It's Insta360 1X camera. It is a 360-degree camera with lenses on both sides, along with some additional tools, tripod, and whatnot. So what I do is, historically, when you schedule a showing, you go on, you schedule it, you meet your clients there, you go in, you're touching door handles, you're opening the door, you're walking around, opening every closet door, every cupboard door, touching everything. So our way to be able to minimize that is I take this guy on a tripod and I go through and I take 360-degree photos in each room, multiple ones for larger rooms to be able to have enough detail and definition. And then I also do a 360-degree video where I narrate it in real time, just like if I were talking to a client walking through a property. And then what I started doing is this camera, fortunately, is able to do or hook up with software called Matterport, which allows for 360 floor plans to be constructed of a property based on photos and images that are taken of the home. So with that, I was able to also go through and make 360-degree floor plans of properties to be able to provide virtual walkthroughs for clients. So that's the actual process of taking it. And then what would happen is I would meet with a client just like this via Zoom, go through and I'd be able to share my screen, and I've got examples in front of me. And what I would do then is I would share my screen and be able to actually go through and show the photos, be able to pan around, tilt up, down, zoom in, zoom out, and walk through the home just like they were there. I think a lot of it is going to be the majority of searches for buying a home or selling a home. They start online to begin with. They start with going through different websites and web portals to be able to see what's out there, because every buyer is obviously a buyer. Every seller starts as a buyer, though. And right now, with everything that's going on with the current pandemic circumstances and staying at home and practicing self-isolation and quarantine, you're having a lot of people where homes that might seem large on paper might seem a little bit more cramped when you're trying to get away from your kids, your spouse, your pet. It's a little bit difficult. So you're having a lot of folks, I think, really realize whether or not they are in the right size home for themselves or their families. So I think what you're going to see here over the next couple months is the interest rates are still going to continue to fluctuate, but you're going to see a lot of folks that want to take advantage of, you know what, after spending the last 21 to 28 days with you in close proximity, I need a little space. We need a little bit more space for our home. So you're going to see folks, I think, coming to the market, and especially with how the weather is coordinating with that, I think you're going to see more home sales, not only naturally because of the seasonality of real estate, but then also with these extreme circumstances.